Welcome to Into the Lab with Stein's Hollow. My name is Hector,
I'm Danny.
and we are here with our guest,
Mark Delgadillo.
Mark Delgadillo. Thank you so much for coming in, Mark.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Same. Love the expansion of Stein's Hollows, seeing all the projects you guys are opening up to and expanding with.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you, man.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe about a year ago now.
Chula Vista Art Fest, I think number 2 was
The
it?
Art Fest last year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's been a while now.
And
It's
that
been
one
a
went
long
big
time.
too, considering it was the second one you guys put together.
Yeah. We
Thank you.
definitely helped getting it there, but I mean, you want to lead us into our first question?
Yeah, so basically, Mark, tell us what you've been up to, a little bit about yourself and your medium.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
So, coming from Chula Vista, starting with ceramics at Community College Southwestern, I left Chula for a little while to go to Long Beach to continue my education with ceramics. That's where I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. And it wasn't until being totally invested and just thrown into my art that I realized that there was no other option of what I could do. Ceramics has really proven to be one of the most confident things I have in my life. So with that being said, I think I owe it to future artists to pass on some of the knowledge I have. So I've really spent the last 2 years of my time away from Chula Vista just teaching ceramics at a local community studio, and currently just trying to find the next route I can take where I can reach as many minds to teach, which I think would be teaching university level. So right now I'm
Wow.
currently preparing for grad school and still teaching.
That's so
Nice.
cool, man. Can you tell us a little bit more about what your student vibe is in the studio? Do you have students that are super beginner level, more adults, kids?
So
What is that about?
More often than not, I work with first timers, whether it's sculpture or functional pottery on the ceramic wheel. But we do get a rotation of students that are returners, and I get to have for maybe 3 months at a time, which is great. I always enjoy the longer sessions I can have with a student, just being able to connect with them. Fortunately, some of our studio sessions at a community studio are limited to 2-3 hours, so that as an artist, that's not enough time to kind of
Yeah.
crank out some good work.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel like if you had students that would want to do 2 to 3 hours, I feel like if they're new, it's kind of hard to get them to really come into the 2 to 3 hours, right? Do you
Yeah.
think some of them would find it beneficial, or would
Yeah.
be willing to do a
You
session
know-
that's longer than that?
and that kind of goes into what we were talking about before we started, just how many people kind of sometimes sign up for these just for either the fun of it or just nothing wrong with that either, who is just really serious to pursue it in a more serious fashion. But in regards to those first timer students too, there's nothing more satisfying as an instructor working with fresh minds and just being able to see a material you've worked with so often almost through fresh eyes while you're working with these new students. So
Yeah.
I think working with these first timers has really allowed me to see the clay a different way and
Yeah.
really learn from where they're wanting to go from there.
Yeah, I get that feeling of
definitely.
learning from your students,
Yeah.
getting to get their experience out of it. That's
Yeah.
that's
And
really cool.
I think also teaching, you get to see them their progress and wow, you feel confident in yourself. I'm able to teach someone and really get them to understand this medium, especially you working in ceramics and
Yeah.
sculpture. I can imagine it's super tough.
Yeah.
It's hard for me just to sketch, so I could imagine creating something in 3D.
Yeah, you're right. And some people get a little intimidated just with the fact of ceramics being so what can't you make with ceramics, right?
Yeah.
So it's where to start. But I agree with you.
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. So that kind of leads me into my next question.
Yeah.
You are a ceramic artist. What would you call it? Ceramicist?
Yeah,
Is what the term?
ceramicist.
Ceramicist. Awesome. Yeah, I want to ask what is your favorite part about your favorite medium?
Sure. Easy.
Whatever it is.
So with ceramics, as soon as you get into ceramics, you're gonna be quick to learn that it's more than an art style. It becomes a lifestyle in the sense that you're always thinking of moisture control for the projects you have done or in progress or even finished by that matter. Things translate over into your everyday life. For example, ceramics really teaches you a way to be patient with yourself and with your work ethic, and I think that really helps you kind of pace yourself too in some of the building processes. So I think my favorite part of ceramics is just the fact that it allows you to pause, take a moment, kind of re-strategize the next step without necessarily rushing into it, per se. And, you know, I've always put myself as an artist before anything, before I'm a partner, before I'm a son. I'm an artist before I'm a student, before I'm a teacher. So it comes back to even ceramics. My passion is with painting, sculpture, carving, and I love how ceramics, I was able to utilize all my passions into this. Like when I first touched clay, I was like, whoa, I could still be a painter with this. I could still be a sculptor. I can go a functional route. I can go a sculptural route. So with the possibilities with ceramics, I just loved how there was no end with what I could make.
That's really cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it sounds like you came from like a background of like other arts, you know? Like what do you think made you like pick ceramics?
Sure. Funny thing enough, you may not notice or recognize this from looking at me, but my passion was initially music performance. I played violin from first grade to sixth
violin,
grade.
really?
Guitar.
I feel like I remember when we were in college, you would carry like a guitar around.
Yeah,
maybe?
I would always
like,
have a
I think
guitar
it's, like,
in
guitar,
college.
yeah.
So I went in with the intention of learning, getting more professional in music, but the music industry was way too competitive for my liking. And you know, I found painting could be a little like too much solitude for me. I felt very alone with my easel at times, and it wasn't until ceramics, it was the most communal art environment I've ever been with. Like aside from sharing firings, kilns together, we're sharing equipment, glaze recipes. I really think ceramics was never meant to be done alone. So that's why I'm part of it.
That's nice.
You guys have it's like a big community, like you said. You guys are sharing equipment, especially because it's not equipment that's easy to come by, like a canvas or something.
Exactly.
So I can imagine, like, me and Hector, I mean, I know for me, I'm pretty lonely in here, you know, here at the studio by myself sometimes. I'm like, damn, I got to paint. Don't want to. I got no one to talk to besides the painting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really cool that in ceramics you have that community bond with, you know, others.
Yeah,
that's
really
really
lucky.
neat.
Yeah. I feel like it's like a big pool of like advice, no? To like being able to just turn like, what are you working on? Like,
It's
how can I make
almost
this
like a
better?
hive mind of artists.
Right.
You have a little
Right.
ceramic
Yeah, I
collective.
wonder if that changes like studio by studio, you know? Like if you go like to a completely different studio.
Yeah,
like
you guys were saying, just like it's so you can imagine how strong these groups are. And now that I've had a chance to visit different communities, let's say like the college setting community, the more community studio setting, you do really see how tight knitted these communities are in their own personal kind of scopes. But in the realm of just ceramics as a whole, we're all connected. So I think it's great.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, what I want to ask you now is, what made you want to become an artist? Like, what inspired you as, you know, little Mark running around? Like, was like, hey, you know what? I want to chase this dream of being an artist or just creating. Like, you know, can you talk to us a little bit about that?
So just the route of how I became an artist, or how I knew this is was what it was going to be, is I think just my ability just to promote curiosity within myself, but also as an instructor. Like we were mentioning, kind of getting these students to kind of make what, not necessarily what you're guiding them to make, but it's almost in a sense of giving them some self-awareness, kind of promoting that curiosity out of themselves, opening up the conversation of kind of the things they would like to make that would serve a purpose for them. So I think that really leads up to me defining myself as an artist, just how curious I am with the outside world, with things I find, things I see. And I think it's important to just really see things in your life as an art, whether it's utilized for that purpose or not. But when you can see a sense of how you fit in all of it, I think it just makes sense that you're an artist once you see the world as an art piece in itself. So I know a lot of people may look at the world as an open canvas ready to fill or whatnot, but I've always seen the world just as a set art piece already, and we're just kind of filling in these voids. And where's my part in this to fill in this art piece?
Nice.
How can I continue this conversation?
Yeah. I feel like that ties into your ceramicist kind of like vibe of like a hive mind, you know, like we're all contributing to the piece, you know.
And you know, it's ceramics, it's something so finalized with it. It's almost as if you're like preserving a moment of your existence too, whether you sign the piece or not. It's like you have your piece in the world, and the idea that it's going to live way past you too kind of excites me. And
yeah. I mean, just that's really the only thing that we leave, right?
Yeah.
Like in like the
Kinda scary.
in like paleontology terms, you know,
Yeah.
like that's what we find. You
These are
know,
gonna be,
those
like,
are the traces we
relics
find. You
found,
know,
like after
Yeah.
the world ends and stuff.
yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to not get too sad, let's move on to the next question.
Still kind of depressing, but like, what kind of obstacles have you faced as an artist? You know,
Sure.
like what kind of speed bumps or struggles you felt, whether it's like selling your piece or just trying to network or get your name out there.
Sure. I think just the idea of just applying yourself to things and keep in mind that you're not going to get accepted to all the things you apply for. Another hard thing I realized as a established artist is you will be provided options along your course that may be two good options. And more often than not, we have to choose between a good option and a bad option, and it's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, sometimes you'll be faced with potentially good options, whether it's a specific school you're going to go to or, signing up for certain gallery showings. They all have like an effect on you. So I think it's just kind of accepting the fact that you are sacrificing things when you are making decisions. That could be a hard pill to swallow, but as long as you stay true to yourself and know that you do need to reapply yourself to as many things as you can. That's how we grow, we learn. So one of the biggest obstacle courses I think I could find is just being discouraged. More often than not, we are human, and we have expectations for ourselves, and as something so personal as an art piece that we create, a lot of emotion goes into it, a lot of time behind the scenes too. So I think staying positive, staying true to yourself could be the trickiest thing, and especially when we live in a world where we're just kind of fed so much content, right? Our ideas of just what we think are ideal or just like our satisfaction bar can kind of be risen just with this unlimited amount of content that we have. So it's hard, right? Separating yourself from like a platform that could be used to kind of benefit you in a way for exposure, to connectedness, but it's also a platform, that can lead you down like just a path of just like fogginess, I guess. You could get lost, not like kind of lose a sense of why you're doing it yourself or your standards that you started with. But I think at the end of the day, if you remind yourself why you're in this, that should keep you motivated in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like we've had a lot of obstacles too, whether as a gallery or independent artist. I know for me it's hard, like just like selling a painting or getting your name out there, getting into shows. How we talked about earlier before we started, applying to projects, and then you get denied because maybe you're just not at that level yet that they require, and it's just kind of hard to keep going when you achieve so many no's.
Yeah.
And everyone's waiting for that yes. It's gonna come, but it's like you said, you just gotta be strong and be like, it's coming. Just keep it up.
It's kind of like a circle too, because like I feel like sometimes doing all that, I don't know if it's kind of like part of like what they call like imposter syndrome or whatever. It's like I feels like I'm just promoting like something, like I'm promoting a product rather than like myself as an artist, rather than that. And I feel like that feeds back into like being discouraged about like what I make and like that kind of stuff.
I think it makes you almost question your authenticity for yourself too.
Yeah, so definitely. I guess it's kind of like we all get lost in the sauce, right?
Lost in the sauce. So literally. Yeah, but I mean, from an art perspective, just put your head down, keep working,
Yeah. I could say a negative result that maybe has happened to me because of that. I do try to stay away to social media, but I think I do lose sense of a lot of good art and artists out there. I've always had that fear, like if someone else could make it, I definitely don't want to make it. I kind of want to stay true to myself. And as someone so curious, as we mentioned, if I see it and like it, you bet I'm going to want to try to attempt something similar, So a lot of the time, it's the fear of myself as an artist to be similar to other artists that kind of keeps me away in my own lane.
Gotcha.
I've talked to professors about this too, and it's silly to think there's a lot of good information out there, conversations to be a part of, but I think it's just something I need to get over too, and just kind of expose myself a little bit more to my fellow current artists in the field.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I mean, like again, you know, it's all a hive mind. You know, we all inspire each other. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to stay connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for those of you that can't see, Mark brought in a nice little sculpture here.
Mark brought us in a little gift, amazing little gift that we have on the table right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, so for the video, it's right here. And then we'll describe it or post it later.
We're going to get a little audio description. What we have here is kind of like a little mini piggy bank, but the pig has wings, so the pigs do fly. Mark, what can you tell us about this?
So, you know, from graduating at Cal State Long Beach, I lost access to firing large-scale work, which was like my dream. I love the idea of public art, just medium to large-scale work. So I've really had to kind of tie down my size limits to a more communal studio setting. And what's cool is I do a lot of work with mold making and whatnot, and just found molds. I actually came across a Mexican piggy bank mold from 1965 at a garage sale. And I had a cherub angel mold. And what I do is I'll separate kind of pieces from other molds, and I'll combine, create these creatures. And started creating these whimsical flying pigs here. And I've always been
cute.
Thank you. I've always been into like marbling paint, paint pours, if you will. So I've been trying to learn a way to marble glaze in a way where I can pour it in a cup, black, white. And it's just kind of translating my love from paint pours to kind of a more slip cast creation. I love working with ideas of like sayings, like you were saying, when pigs fly.
Yeah, pigs fly, yeah.
So I think working with words and that, and just kind of overcoming obstacles is a huge element in my work too. So I love that this kind of symbolizes a lot of those nuances of what can and can't be done, you know?
Yeah, it looks really good. Like you're talking about how you have that. It doesn't even look like ceramic. It looks more like stone, like, you know, sanded down stone. And it looks really nice. Like, can you tell us, you know, maybe some of the difficulties that came with making this little pig? Like what? Or if you're that good, you know, was it a breeze?
With being such a vintage mold out of plaster, it is fairly fragile. So I could probably cast maybe 2 of these a day on a lucky day. And it's all a practice for the aesthetic of the surface design. It was trial and error. Traditionally, you would have a mold closed up, sealed. You pour your slip in to the top and you pour it out. With these ones, I'll actually have my molds open, and I'll create my concoction of a slip, and I'll pour it into these open molds to try to create these forms. And then I seal it up.
Then you close it.
I fill it in. Because that's the only way I'll be able to get the walls to
to have like that marbly design.
It's still a trial and error. I love that I can limit it down to just like the clay body. I just put a clear on top of this, so this kind of takes away the glaze kind of concept or theory I have to introduce. I like the idea of making work that could be kind of in its final stage once it's fired, just with a clear coat. Trying to kind of focus more on form now. I'm kind of leaning away from color as I was practicing a lot in my university time.
I feel like color is a very difficult thing to like get
it's
to,
its
you know,
own,
because I mean, I've seen like the what does he call it, like the first like glaze or the first dip, and like when it comes out, it's like a completely different color. You know, it's like you got to be a chemist too,
it's its own chemistry, right?
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I can see the form coming through, you know, like it looks seamless. It looks spotless,
good.
You know.
It looks really good.
Amazing.
What's great is you actually have one of many. So the idea was these are going to be shown displayed hanging from a ceiling, just in an army of flying pigs. The last display I had, I only had like 4 of these, but I'm cranking them out. You know, every week I have maybe 5 more come out of the kiln. So.
That's
you guys will see them flying together soon.
Yeah, I hope so, man.
It'll be a cool installation.
What's cool, I like that you brought up marbling, because like I remember when we were in college, we took like one class together, and like I still have like a video of you like doing like that really big, what was it, like 6 foot by like 4 foot like canvas, where you did like this whole big paint pour, and then like did it with like, I don't know if you put resin on top or anything.
Yeah, it did end up. Funny thing about that, that's cool that you were in that class. So that was a class project we did. We were to demonstrate a painting technique to the class. What was cool is at the end of maybe a whole year from then, Chula Vista City Hall were looking for artists, and I applied that piece in there. I put it for $800. And the lady who ran the building. She bought it for her office.
That's so cool.
No way.
Yeah,
Nice.
so that just shows that even
Wow.
school projects, you can apply them into like
Mhm.
city stuff too.
Is that what kind of got you connected with the city? Because like I
Yeah.
know with the city we know a lot of the same people
Yeah,
in there. Is
so,
that
like,
what you got you in there?
Erwin,
Yeah.
He's the principal, I believe, of the Chula Vista Library. That was my first contact with him, and ever since then, he's even pointed me in your guys' direction. So you're doing something.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Nice.
cool, man. Wow.
That's crazy.
Crazy that I was there for that. You
Dude,
know,
I
that I was
know.
there for the creation of it. You know, that's so cool. So cool. I love that.
Nice.
Anything else? We are at. We can cut this out right now too, but we are at 20 minutes right
That's
here.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think we got some good stuff.
I guess-
But anything else?
I guess
we
I
should
have
fill in.
Maybe like a last question we could say is like, do you have any advice for up and coming artists or artists in general from your experiences as not just a sculptor, but what was it, ceramist? Ceramicist, but as an artist.
Honestly, back to just the whole like making mistakes and applying yourself.
Mhm.
You're gonna learn so much more just investing in your mistakes versus any lesson
Mhm.
you give yourself. It's not until you get your hands in that you'll
Yeah.
kind of get a better sense of what the do's and don'ts, if you will. And if you're questioning whether you should try something or not, even with if it's a single piece, go for it. You're always going to question whether how it would have looked, and you're not going to know that you don't like it until you make it. So there's nothing wrong with making bad art. What's bad is no art, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really good because it's like everyone's questioning, should I try it? Should I try
Yeah.
it? Well, you're never gonna know until you try. So
Right? How would it look with this?
you
or
gotta
like-
take those first steps to really get out there and understand what it is you want or you're looking for.
Yeah,
You'll
'cause
never know.
You're learning what you don't like in the process versus
Yeah.
questioning what you may or may not like, along the
Definitely.
way.
Yeah.
So it's almost exciting knowing that you're gonna come across like your preferred methods too, and the things you want to create, and it's just all this artistic style that comes naturally at that point.
That's so cool. Love that.
Do you have any other questions?
Really quick, I do want to point out, like your ring, dude. That is such a flex.
dude,
Can you tell us
thank
about
you.
that?
Yeah,
Because
it
I
looks really
recognize it, bro. I know
See
what
that?
that is.
I got my signature that I put on my work on the
Yeah,
ring.
I
with-
knew it. I recognize it. I
my-
got
Is
a
that-
couple. Yeah, I got a couple of
It
Mark's
is.
pieces. That
Yeah,
is his
he was
signature.
on
Yeah.
one of our
Oh.
shows.
Oh yeah.
When I graduated, got my fine arts degree, my mom, my biggest supporter
That's
here
so
in Chula Vista, she actually had a company business ring that she worked for her company for 12, 15 years. And unfortunately, with the pandemic, she had to leave the job. But
Mm.
she ended up melting her business ring
Wow.
and
No
getting
way.
it re-engraved with my initials. And for a graduation present, just kind of blew me away with it.
That's
Yeah.
so cool, man. That's a piece of
That's-
heirloom.
that's
heirloom
beautiful.
Right there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
That's really nice,
So
dude.
cool. Do you ever use it like as an actual stamp?
I've tried. It
Have you
would
tried
it would
it?
make it backwards though. That's,
That's
the
what
only
I was
thing.
thinking.
But
Man. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I was
yeah.
thinking. But like,
That's
I
true.
mean, yeah, I
It'd
feel
be
like
kinda cool.
if you know, you know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be an
sure.
interesting, like, wait, why is your signature
It's like
backwards?
it's a
And
part of
then
it.
You got a story
yeah,
to tell.
you would know. Oh, he must have done it with his ring. That one. That's like a special
Yeah,
signed.
special edition, special Markadillo edition.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
that's really sick.
Alrighty, Mark. So as we sign you off, yeah.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
we can sign it off.
Yeah. So as we sign you off, do you have anything that you want
I'm
us
just
keep
curious
an
what
eye
you
out?
guys
You know.
too have been up to.
Yeah, you can ask us stuff. We can keep going. I don't know.
What's the biggest goal that you guys have had for just kind of grouping up some artists, local Chula Vista born, and just like where do you want to see this come? What's your intended audience
For like this podcast or just
Yeah.
in general, I guess.
for this podcast? I suppose.
I mean, we want this to be kind of like just like a living record, I feel. Well, personally, like, that's what I think about it. You know,
Yeah.
I want this to be a personal, like, living record of, like, all the artists that are here in Chula Vista, be part of, like, the group that's like, hey, we're doing this for the artists of Chula
Right.
Vista, so that anyone that comes through can be like, oh, what is your art about? They can be like, oh, yeah, you can go watch this podcast about me,
Like
you
a
know?
preservation
Like-
of the times, or
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
happening.
preservation
You
of
could call
the
it that
times,
too. I mean, for me, I definitely wanted to start this as an eye opener for like the community and those who are like they like art. They say they're supporters, but they're not really fully engulfed in that.
Yeah.
So I just kind of understand our stories as artists, like what we go through, our inspirations, our struggles, our successes.
The dedication that
So-
it
Yeah.
takes,
Just to get them
Mhm.
feel more of that really personal connection rather than just coming to galleries and of course you can see the paintings and the artworks there
Mhm.
and you can get an idea of the artist, but here to really listen and hear that passion behind, you know, their voices, like how you were talking about your sculptor and your flying pig army, you know, that passion we see. So it's just more to really connect the community and also other artists to they can hear stories and maybe feel inspired, like, hey, let's not give up, you know, I can keep going, keep working on our craft. And just kind of people understand what artists do and what we go through, and we're not just like, maybe some of us, but we're not all just like hippie just throwing paint and whatever, you know, people might think of us. But you know, it's a real struggle, and we do want to make it a living, and we do care, and also to show the importance of art in society, you know, how like murals and art festivals and all these things kind of bring a community together, so art like unites. And that's the whole point. Not the whole point, but you know, that's kind of what Stein's Hollow is about.
One of the main points.
It's one of the main points of what like Stein's Hollow is about, and also kind of this podcast as well.
Sweet. I'm excited just to hear the minds of the artists you guys bring in and the voice what they have to say.
It's gonna be an interesting journey. So we'll see. And then also let everybody know we have an art show coming up August 9th. Mark, can we count you in to participate? Put you on the spot right now. Well, you're flying pigs.
Yeah, we can definitely get some flying pigs in there.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have to. I'm going out of town the 8th through 10th, so we'll figure out a drop off for those piggies. But
all right, if you can,
awesome.
That'd be great. You know, so if you guys come to the show, there will be some flying piggies.
How long is the show running for?
Show might be 1 or 2 days.
1 or 2 days. You heard it here first, guys.
As we work in here, you know, 1 or 2 days.
It's very limited. So if you guys don't come to the show, you're not gonna see nothing. Yeah. So it's might be a 1 day.
Don't miss your shot.
Don't miss.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. But I mean, anything else? Any other questions?
It's always great seeing you guys. You guys are great company. I like hanging with you. I got to see you guys come up to Long Beach, to my studio.
Yeah. Definitely. We got to collaborate. On something. That'd be so cool.
I want to go.
Alrighty.
We'll make Hector drive.
Hey, driving. Alrighty. Thank you so much for coming in, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes. Thank you.